Hello, and welcome to Virtual Investor Conferences. My name is Cecilia, and on behalf of OTC Markets, we're very pleased you have joined us for our next live presentation from BRVO Mining. Please note, you can submit questions in the box to the left of the slides. You can also view a company's availability for one-on-one meetings through the Scheduled Meetings tab found on the conference platform. At this point, I'm very pleased to welcome Luis Azevedo, Chairman and CEO of BRVO Mining, which trades on the OTCQX Best Market under the symbol BRVMF and on the TSXV under the symbol BRVO. Welcome, Luis.
Hi, my name is Luis Azevedo. I'm Chairman CEO of BRVO Mining Corp, and I'm here with you to speak about the Luanga project located in the Carajás, Brazil. This is our forward look statement. Well, Luanga is an opportunity that came to the market recently in 2022. Luanga is a property that was owned by Vale and was developed by Vale 20 years ago. It's today owned 100% by us, and it's a project that we have a royalty to Vale and 2% royalty to BNDES only. The project is compliant by a palladium, platinum, rhodium, gold, and nickel. There is a historical estimate of 142 million tons at 1.2 grams per ton, and using a cutoff of 0.5 grams per ton. This is a historical resource that the Vale put together 20 years ago. Since then, we have done a lot of work, which we're going to show you in a minute. Well, it is a place where there is a lot of activities going on. One of the largest iron ore deposits in the world are surrounded our project. But one of the very good, interesting parts of this project that we are in a very attractive tax jurisdiction. We have 75% reduction of income tax, which reduce basically our tax to 15%. So total tax over this project is around 23%. The people is a very important part of BRVO and about our location. In terms of experience, we have developed a project 30 kilometers away from Luanga in another company that we used to own called Avanco Resource. Avanco Resource was a company that most of the team here put together in 2007. We developed a mine in 2015, and we sold our project and our company with 120% premium in 2018 towards minerals. And basically, this was done with 120% premium over 440 million Australian dollars. So basically, our strategy is very simple here. We are going to explore and develop this project. We have about $40 million in US in cash. We have done a lot of drilling, a lot of metallurgical work, and this all going to be shown to you. In terms of our corporate structure, you probably not seen people like our shareholders very normal in the junior space. Basically, we have our largest shareholder, Tembo Capital, 9.9%, BlackRock, 9.3%, Franklin Templeton with 4.3%. And basically, we have Sprott and other institutions. Retail is about 13%, and management own about 56%. We are covered by very senior institutions in Canada, National Bank, Canaccord, Comark, and BMO. As I told you, we are surrounded by around 20 mines and 46 advanced projects in this area. Basically, the infrastructure for a mine, it's over there, is one of the most developed areas of South America. You have 2 airports close to the property, about 60 kilometers, about 150 kilometers. You have a rail, which we have access to a contract that we have with Vale. We have roads crossing the property, and we have 3 power lines crossing the projects as well. Water is not an issue in this area. So everything that you need, you have around 50 kilometers away from Luanga project. We are close to one of the largest mining capital of South America. It's called Paraupebas. It's a city with 250,000 people, which basically live from mining. In terms of ESG attributes, we own the farms in these properties is privately owned. We have no communities close by, we have no indigenous proximity, and we have no disturbed land and deforested land. So we have sufficient water to run our activities, and 80% of our power is renewable. Local labor with good skills are available, and local suppliers as well. Today, we basically run this project with 95% of local support in terms of service and manpower. In terms of where we are, we bought this project in 2020. We listed in 2022 when we done a resample over 50,000 meters of drilling that Vale have done in the 90s and in the around 2000. In phase one, we basically completed in last year 25,000 meters of infill drilling. And we've done a lot of metallurgical work, a lot of geology mapping, lithological studies, and mineralization studies as well. Where we are today in the middle of the phase two of drilling. We basically are carrying on 21,000 meters of drilling in the phase two, which complies between phase two and phase one, around 46,000 meters of drilling. We have done a lot of technical service in terms of infrastructure, developing what will be needed for a mine be built in this project. And we're probably going to bring to Q4 of 2023 our first resource and our metallurgical test works. In 2023 and 2024, we believe we're going to complete the environmental baseline studies, and we advance the studies and activity in terms of logistic and infrastructure of the project. This is the area of Luanga, a typical PGM deposit, but with one big difference. We have 8.1 kilometers of proved mineralized strike. And as you can see in the right side of the screen, basically Vale drilled this project up to 150 meters depth with the 200 meters space. What we done in the phase one drilling, we basically carry on an infill drilling, put a drill hole every 100 meters spacing. And now in the phase two, we are stepping out mineralization and going beyond this 150 meters to 300 meters. So we believe that we're going to increase the resource that Vale put together, again, 142 million tons with the phase one study, and we're going to probably try to double this with the phase two drilling. One of the very important things that we achieve is finding that the ore is not limited to 150 meters, but in fact it is extended to 300 meters based on the last results that we put together in the phase two. The intersects are kind of wide, and it's getting more grades as we go deep. If you compare the studies that Vale done with the studies that we have done, you're going to see that even repeating the Vale holes, we are achieving around 10 to 20% more in terms of grade, which is encouraging us. And this was not a mistake done by Vale, but basically this was caused because there is improvement techniques of the assay and in the preparation as well. But one very important thing that you can see in the top 20 drill holes done by Vale is that a lot of mineralization is coming from the surface, which tells us that we're going to be a very high-grade shallow deposit, so very favorable to open pit operations. And another thing very interesting that you're going to see in Luanga is that basically what you have is a very good distribution between the whole 8.1 kilometers. As you can see, the 20 top holes are distributed between the south part, the center part, and also the north part. So this deposit equally going to be mining all the way through. Well, one of the things that it makes Luanga and Bravo a very good success was that we found in September last year a massive nickel sulfide, which was a hole that was done between two sections of a valley, the hole 47, where you can see below in the right of your video, a very interesting intersect, 11 meters at 2% nickel, 1% copper, and 4.8 grams per ton of PGM. This itself, it's a very representative. If you put this in terms of dollar per ton, this ore represents about $1,100 per meter of mineral content. And this was not the only place where we found nickel in this project, which has been one of the things that attract a lot of attention, especially during these times that the critical minerals is being looking for many companies in terms of mining, but also automobile companies and the battery companies as well. We found also nickel sulfide in the south part of the project, not only in the north and also in the center as well. And what we see here is that different than what the valley found, we found a lot of source that tells us there is a magnetic nickel deposit possibility in Luanga as well. So basically, this was the last discovery in terms of nickel sulfide, massive sulfide, done in the southwest part of the deposit. So you have nickel all over this 8.1 kilometers, which is very encouraging to us. In terms of the central sector, as you can see recently, we step out and we've done a drilling up to 150 to 300 meters depth, and we found this significant intersection, 54 meters at 2.3%, 2.3 grams per ton of palladium, 0.7 platinum, and 0.1 gram per ton of rhodium. And that complies at 3.3 grams per ton of PGM. It's a very interesting and representative mineralization, which 32 meters is basically at 5 grams per ton. This opens the possibility to Luanga not just be an open pit deposit, but can consider also underground mining as well. In terms of developing, we built companies to put into production. So basically, what we have done as we start doing the exploration is intensive work over metallurgical, seeing how can we extract the ore for this property. And basically, we engage 3 labs, CETEM, CETEC, and also test work. They are looking for flotation and also leaching deposit, which can be applicable to Luanga as well. In terms of the drill program, you probably are going to see not only this mineral resource in the end of the year. Next year, we're probably going to update that, going deeper based on the results that we put together in the last August 15, which tells us that the mineralization is going deeper and it's very promising with the grades that we found. So this is Luanga, the right project with the right team in the right place. And our strategy is to put this resource, do economic studies, and put this into production as soon as possible. And we have the track records, and this is where we built a mine less than 10 years ago. Thank you very much. Questions?
Thank you, Luis, for this presentation. We have some questions that came in on the platform, so I'll read the first one. Why did Vale walk away from the Luanga project?
Well, Jenny, Vale decided to become focused on iron ore, and you can see that they sold recently their base metals. And at the point that they make the decision, Luanda was just a PGM project. They didn't know that the nickel was there in that intensity. And they also, when they done the work back 20 years ago, they didn't realize that the rhodol has an important impact on the project. They basically didn't analyze all the samples for rhodol. So these are the two takeaways that we have from when we got the project from Vale. Nickel is a significant important part of this, and also rhodol is a significant important part. But Vale probably would not sell the project back again if they have this information.
Fair enough. I have a second question here. Can you talk about the potential for a feeder zone and what the company is doing to find it?
Well, feeder zone is very important in Luanda. The first thing that you need to realize is that Luanda has a different structure of most of the deposits around the world. It has most of the deposits are basically horizontally. Luanda somehow has flipped 90 degrees. So the feeder zone is what feeds the horizons of mineralization, the sulfidation. And basically, what we found is that when this was turned 90 degrees and become vertical, basically the feeder zone, which is supposed to be vertical, is now like horizontally. That's why we found the feeder zone at 130 meters depth. So the really important thing is that we feeling that some or mostly of this feeder zone can be open pitable as well. And as I mentioned in my presentation, the feeder zone is basically unique, something that you found in voice-based and you probably not find very easy because it's narrow and it's deep. But in case Luanda, that's not the case. And the metal contained on there is basically BSO. It's worth like 1,100 meters. And if you look at the grades that we have in the hole 47. And what this company is doing for that, this responds very well with an EM, which was never done in that before in Luanda. So we were lucky. The survey cost a lot of money, but we actually basically in June, we had a helicopter doing another survey for another major in Brazil in another area. We moved the helicopter and we fly over this property. And probably in September, we expect to go back with the anomaly map showing the feeder zone potentials and other mineralization in terms of nickel sulfide as well.
Thank you. What were your key takeaways from the recent phase 2 of drilling? And on that same question, can you also talk to us about the milestones for the next 12 months and the capital position to support these initiatives?
Well, first, what is the takeaway from the recent phase 2? I think the biggest takeaway is that the deposit is not limited to 150 meters depth or 250 meters depth. We basically done in hole 175, about 350 meters depth. We step out mineralization, put a deep hole, and what we got? Better grade and really wider zone, and it's open to depth. So that means like open pit in Brazil normally takes 400 meters. We got to a limit and we still open to depth. So that phase 2 is telling us that Luanda is going to be open pitable, but with the grades that we got, like basically 5 grams per ton over 30 meters, you easily could do underground mine. And that makes a blue sky to underground potential as well, which we never expected. So in terms of the next 12 months, well, the capital is really support us, not just for the 12 but 24 months, doing the same amount of drilling that we are doing today, which is an extensive program, and also do all the work that is necessary to put economics and parameters in place. So in terms of capital, we are very strong on that.
Perfect. And can you talk a little bit about the rhodium credits at Luanda?
Well, like I said, when this project was developed, basically platinum was $200 an ounce. Palladium was $100 an ounce. And rhodium, which is very rare, is the most expensive element in the planet, was basically 0.1, 0.155, and it basically those results that the Valley got did encourage them to do the assay for rhodium, which in Brazil 20 years ago was basically very expensive. So they just done about 2,000 samples only over 50,000 meters. We've done a complete set of assays over the 50,000 and also over 40,000 on rhodium. And what we found that this deposit is very rich in orders. In terms of element contained, rhodium probably represents 25 to 30%, depending on the rhodium price. And I can tell you, if the rhodium comes back what it was 1 year ago with the Ukrainian war, $15,000, $17,000, this has become the first rhodium project in the world. So rhodium is very interesting, and the grade that we have takes 100% of payability.
Perfect. Now, I believe we only have time for one more question. So, how were you able to assemble such a list of blue chip institutional investors for a company of this size and stage?
Well, it's a combination of two things. First, like this is not our first project. Like I said, this is our third project with success. So we have a track record. BlackRock was our shareholder in Avanco. They made a lot of money out of us, and they know us from 10 years so far. We know Tambo quite well since Avanco. They were not part of the Avanco portfolio of investment, but there was a lot of trust between us and them. And Franklin Templeton basically came from Steve Quinn, which is our director as well. So the recently shareholders from Brazil basically know us from the past. We've been in this space for 20 years. They know what our ability, our skills, and I think that's one of the good aspects that they trust in us.
Okay, thank you very much, Luis. Thanks everyone for tuning in.